From the time I was a little girl, I have always wanted to be a teacher. This started the stepping stone for me to a milestone to where I will be graduating from college in fall with a degree in special education. I would like to leave you with this thought. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe. Thank you.
I'd like to thank God for so many blessings that I can't even count.
Yes.
I'd like to thank the family for all their support, and I'd like to thank my wife for always being there for me, and I'd like to thank the TEA for always having my back. They've made sure that my work is a place that I look forward to go to each day. And I'd like to thank all the teachers who believed in me and made me feel special. We have a lot of emphasis on tests and labeling students and that type of stuff in this day and age, and I would like to encourage you to remember that when the labels start being passed around, to try to remember to always let them know that they are advanced on the most important test of all. They are advanced because some of them speak 2 languages. They are advanced because they sing, dance, draw, play music, and write poetry. They are advanced because their friends count on them to be there. They are advanced because their laughter can brighten the brightest day. They are advanced because they are concerned about the future. They are advanced because they sometimes help with their little brothers and sisters. They are advanced because they are kind, trustworthy, and thoughtful. And they are advanced because they always try to be their very best. A lot of times, the students may forget the things that we tell them, but they'll never forget the way that we make them feel. So what I'd like to encourage you to do is remember that it's not what you have in life that matters, it's what you have and who you have in life that matters. And I'm thankful that I have you in my life to make the world a better place. May God bless you all, and may you be filled with peace, love, and happiness.
I'm deeply honored and humiliated for this award. The real recipients are my students and my teachers back in Clayton County. I would like to thank some people that have traveled with me today. Before I do that, I do want to thank God for giving me the privilege of working in the best profession in the world.
All right.
There's no greater way to make a living than being an educator. My beautiful bride, she came with me today. She's been by my side for the past 32 years.
All right.
She has been my support, my rock, and I appreciate the support she's given me. I would not be here today without her. My son, who is standing right back here, very proud of him. He's a second-year law student and a product of public education.
All right.
And his girlfriend, Emily Taylor. Apparently everyone is wanting to talk to Emily. She is interning for Representative Fogarty, who is the chairman of the Education Committee. And the teachers in Claiborne County, the greatest thing that's happened to the teachers in Claiborne County recently is, Tina Collier, would you stand up please? She's really been great for TEA and for Claiborne County. Thank you.
I want to thank TEA and the IPD Commission for this award. I want to thank Johnson City Education Association. But really, I don't consider myself to be a great teacher in my school. I consider myself to be one of the great teachers that are in the school. There are more than just one. My school is about 1,200 5th and 6th graders. We get that reaction a lot. It is the only intermediate school in our system. You would think it was a small school, because you know every child, they know you. It's a fantastic place to be. Those aren't my teachers, that's my family. They know more about me than I know more about them. And they help and support me as well, being the teacher that I want to be. Because I probably know a lot of things in my classroom that the average teacher doesn't. Just because I'm passionate about what I do, and I want my kids to be passionate about what they're learning. I happen to be in a subject area that many people don't feel is important. I teach science and social studies, and we're told that you can't have this support, you can't have that support because it needs to go towards math and language arts, which I feel are important. But I'm sorry, I teach other things about life. Sorry, when I moved through school. But we teach subjects that are about curiosity and about life. And I think they need to be as respected as the language arts. And do not get me wrong, I respect language arts teachers beyond belief. You guys have the hardest job in demand, the same with math. But I believe we need to support each and every teacher in the building, because it's not just one subject or two. It is every subject. One of my favorite questions that I get when I'm out is, what do you do for a living? I love this question. I tell them I teach. Well, the first thing next I guess, what do you teach? They're expecting a grade level, they're expecting a subject. I teach students. I don't just teach science, I teach students. Thank you. Now, the reason I say that when I tell people that is because, yes, I teach science and social studies, but I teach life skills. I teach acceptance of others. I teach care and compassion. And I think those things are just as important as the subject that I teach. The curriculum is wonderful and I love it, but I teach life. Because let's face it, everyone in this crowd prepares the future. We are teaching the future of this world. We are preparing the future leaders, the future presidents, the future pastors and doctors and lawyers. And without education, it wouldn't be possible. And with that,
I have taught for 37 years, and this is, I thought this was a longevity award. And in some respects it may be. Yesterday was probably one of the most hectic days I have had in education. So just because you've taught 37 years, it does not get any easier. Yesterday was graduation practice at Clinton High School. 262 illustrious seniors practicing for Sunday's graduation. It was like herding cats. And I'm not there today for the second rehearsal, and I am the graduation coordinator. So Sunday will be very interesting at the bowling arena. But I have great colleagues. And that's the first thing. I want to thank Rachel Monardo, Anderson County Education Association. And I tell you, I really do not feel like I am a distinguished educator. But I tell you what I have felt for 37 years. I have been part of the most distinguished profession on the planet. It is a calling. And I will tell you, even after a very bad day yesterday, hectic, and I will be there Sunday, I wrote down, I had a speech, and of course, I am 61, I left it at home. But I'm going to tell you what I did. I wrote down a few of the things that I miss about education, because I have seen changes in 37 years. And most of them are on that wall. When I walked in, I said, there's my speech. Teaching is God's work. I can read that one. But I've read them all, and I will tell you this. What I miss and what I want, and I've worked with interns from UT. I've had an intern with me all year, and I realize that the passion is still there in these young educators. If I could, I would retire and let Colby Swift take over for me. He is excellent. It is a calling for him. I feel good about the profession of education, but I feel strongly that we as educators, we have got to reach out, not to the politicians. I don't know if they're going to listen to us, but we need to reach out to the parents. And we need to ask those parents what type of school do they want for their children. Because I'm telling you, high school is not necessarily a happy place anymore. And I miss being able to go into my classroom, plan my units, plan the journey for my students. And these are things I've heard other teachers say today. That, I used to be able to tell a child, look, you struggle in English, let's find what your passion is. I am not going to tell a child, how many times can a child hear, you are below basic, you are proficient, and maintain that personal spirit that I want every child that comes into my classroom achieve. We had teacher appreciation. And students wrote down cards to me. And I was very disheartened. Even though they were thanking me for my class, they were saying, thank you for making high school bearable. Thank you for helping me enjoy a little of my day. And I thought, this is child abuse. These children deserve so much more. I cannot motivate a child to take a standardized test. I can't do it. I can motivate a child to do their best and to be happy. Thank you very much.
I'm truly honored to stand before you today to receive this award. I would like to thank my husband, sorry, a little emotional. I would like to thank my husband and family for supporting me along this journey, and I'm proud to say that I'm a member of this association.
All right!
With your continued support, we will strive to improve public education for our students, parents, and our professions. Thank you for this honor, and I will continue on, with my association, my passion, and my love of learning. Thank you.
All right.
Our last award recipient almost made me start crying, so I'm going to try to get through this. First of all, I would really like to thank the Tennessee Education Association for supporting teachers and students in our public schools. It's very important with the job that TEA is doing, and I have been a member of TEA for the last 28 years.
All right.
And I'd encourage everybody else to do it. A lot of you don't know me, but I'm an art teacher, and I believe that art is our first language. I know a few people on the humanities board that I've shared that with in here. One of the things I want to try to do is get through this, because art is my first language, speaking isn't, so I'm going to give it a shot. One of the things I tell my students every day is never stop learning. And that's really important. We don't ever want to stop learning. And some of the ways that we do that are from our family members. My wife Becky, who's sitting there taking a video right now. I have learned so much about compassion and treating other people the way they need to be treated from my wife. And I would really like to thank her for supporting these last 28 years in the education profession. I'd also like to thank my daughter, who is our counselor. She does a great job. She's working on her doctorate in physical therapy right now. I'm very, very proud of her. She's a lifelong learner as well. I'd like to thank my co-workers. I've got Steve Reddick, who's in the audience here. He is our local president. And Steve Reddick has been a great mentor for these last 28 years. In fact, he introduced me to the staff at Jefferson Middle School, and for that I'm really grateful. I'd also like to thank my principal and vice principal. Phil Cox is my principal, and from the first time I met this gentleman, we interviewed him. He was very supportive of the arts and the whole education, and I do appreciate that a lot. I'd like to also thank some of the people who I've learned from who are younger than me. I've had 4 interns who have come to my school in the last 5 years. They really get me jazzed about education. It's really important to see what they see through those young eyes, and the education profession is something that is growing, it's not dying, and I love to see what their accomplishments will be in the next few years. And each one of them have a job now, so that's really important. I'd also like to thank some of the co-op students who come over from our high school. I've had 10 co-op students in the last 10 years. They've come over and they've wanted to learn about art and art education, and each one of them have taken that information back and have been a better person for it. So I'd really like to thank them. I'd also like to, and I'm going to mention this too, I've got a fellow art teacher from one of our neighboring counties, and about 6 years ago, she had a stroke and she can't speak anymore. But she comes over and devotes time to us in our school, and she's still in the game and she's still learning, and that's really, really important. I'd also like to thank my students. I learn every day from my students. I'm bringing things back to the classroom to share with everybody, and that's really important. Don't ever just discount a young person. They can be the best teachers. I'd also like to thank my school system, Oak Ridge Schools. They've always been there for me. It's kind of like fertile ground. You plant something in fertile ground, it's going to grow, and Oak Ridge system has been that fertile ground for me. We have a great arts supporting community. We have 8 arts organizations in that town of 30,000. It's amazing to go to work every day in Oak Ridge. I've enjoyed that. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you all for this great honor, and I'd like to thank my friend Steve Reddick for nominating me for this. Thank you.
I have written a speech, and I'm going to mention people in my speech that aren't here that you all don't know, but I'm going to share the speech with them later because my success is due to a team effort. I love my school. I love the team on which I work. First of all, I need to say thank you to the ladies and gentlemen of the Tennessee Education Association. I'm both humbled and grateful for this honor. I'd like to thank my precious late mama, who taught me that I could be anything I wanted to be. That's right. Mama was never disappointed when I chose to be a teacher. And she never lost the faith that I was following both my heart and the Lord when I chose this profession. Even when one lady from my very small hometown said to her, "Well, do you think she'll get a job?" I'd also like to thank my sister for also standing by me and providing every kind of support that I need for my classroom. Sometimes the support is financial, from buying needed items for school, and sometimes it's physical, especially in my first year to teach, when sometimes she was the only person to go with me to chaperone a field trip. These days, her support is also on the home front. She takes care of my precious girls so that I can teach all day and then work at the after-school tutoring program that benefits so many children in Springfield. I couldn't do without her. Among the newest members of my support team is my sweet husband of 6 years. Bless him, I don't think he realized the personal and financial commitment that marrying a teacher would be. However, he's been up for everything, from making sure there's money in the budget for whatever we need for school, to pressure washing portables on a school-wide cleanup day, to cleaning the carpets for all 13 kindergarten teachers. He's truly a trooper. He's also my rock and amongst my greatest blessings. Lastly, I'd like to thank my 5-year-old twins, Holly and Anley, for never minding sharing their mommy with the boys and girls. It's been their reality for all 5 years, and I'm so excited that they'll be joining me at my new school in the fall. Ranking very closely behind my blood family is my school family. Their love and support keeps me going on a daily basis. Throughout the state of Tennessee, most of you know of whom I'm speaking when I say that I come from Jane Liggins School. Miss Jane has been another mama to me and has impressed upon all my colleagues and me the importance of association membership. Next, I'd like to thank Robert Farmer for giving a 21-year-old girl the opportunity to join his faculty when she was obviously as green as grass. Next, I'd like to thank my mentors, Sharon, Sylvia, Carol, and Glenda. I'd especially like to thank Glenda, who was my rock amidst the recent displacement fiasco. I'd also like to thank my colleagues for all their support: Heidi, Carol, Chelsea, Tiffany, Pam, Samantha, Brandy, Leslie, Amber, Charlotte, and most especially the other Brandy. Collaboration is the key to serving on a grade level team as large as ours, and we're blessed to be colleagues and friends. Lastly, I need to thank my daily classroom support, my right arm, my chosen family, my teaching assistant, Cynthia Darnell. Cynthia is both a mind reader and an amazing multitasker. My classroom runs more smoothly because of her. She does anything and everything she can to make my job a little easier, and for that I'll be forever grateful. In closing, once again, I just want to say how blessed I am to receive this honor. Thank you all, and have a blessed day.
I want to thank Stephen for nominating me in TEA. This is my 22nd year of teaching, and I will say with all the changes that have occurred in education, this has been my hardest. So this is a great way to end the year, thanks to my husband, because you know, in education, it's a family affair. He's done everything from move my classroom upstairs, downstairs, organize my classroom library, lots of late nights, lots of support. I couldn't do it without him. And I feel like education for children is a way to change their future and determine their own path, and I hope I inspire my students for that every day. Thank you.
I would like to thank TEA for putting on this beautiful event for us. I really appreciate it and all their support for teachers. Our chapter president is also here, Ms. Goolsby, and I thank you for coming as well. My husband is also here, and he's our classroom repairman, obviously. We had an event at school that I didn't want to miss, so he came this morning and fixed the table while I was there. A little boy broke with the canopy that we borrowed at field day the other day. He welded it back to me, so he's really good at that. He listened to some more school stories than he ever thought he'd have to, and he's good with the money thing as well, so I appreciate that. A year and a half ago, I started my career at a brand new school with brand new people, and I couldn't have asked for a better school family or a principal, but they really are your family. You see them more than you do your own. In my year and a half, I have never been. I'm sorry. But you guys know I've never been more exhausted or worked harder in my entire life. But we all do that. Everybody in the education profession does that every day. So I think we've all learned to eat really fast too. I think that's new. But I have also learned that everybody that's in education does their best every day. Last year I had the most wonderful group of kids. I started in December, so I walked into a classroom that was already established and had the best group you could ever ask for. This year, you know, we got 5 days left, and but I told the little boy, you know, first 2 or 3 days of school, that if I survived with my brown hair, I was really going to be surprised. And so I managed to survive, and I've done, you know, and I've had a wonderful year with my kids. But I just want to, you know, God gives us every kid for a reason. That's and right, this year I have had some that needed me, and so that's why we're all teachers, to make a difference. And so it's my prayer that every day that we do continue to be the best educators in the state, and that we do the best we can every day. But thank y'all, and thanks for America.
It is a true honor to be recognized by the only association in this state that has continued to stand strong for public education
All right.
for 150 years. I've got to move my stool up. I'm going to fall off backwards. There we go. Okay. I would like to thank TEA's Status of Women in Education Committee for selecting me as the recipient of this award. I would like to also thank the Rutherford Education Association for nominating me, the executive board. Jim Gifford, the president-elect of REA, who is the one who submitted the application. And Jeff Garrett, my TEA Uniserv, that for 2 years he has given me constant daily encouragement and listened to me whine nonstop. So I do appreciate his help. More importantly, probably the most important thing that Jeff taught me was to not say the word scab when you're in mixed company. So I learned not to do that. My husband, who is sitting over there, his name is Don Mitchell, but most of our friends know him as the Dos Equis man. He is, stay thirsty, my friends. Bring me a drink up here, will you? He has been my constant #1 fan for, what, 30 gazillion years? Yeah, 33 years. And he, jokingly, when I received this award, no one, of course, was at home. So I called him. He was out of town. I was so excited. And he said, well, what'd you get that award for? Because you, he says, because you dress like her. So I've given him an award at the end of this month when his American Express bill comes in. He gets to pay for the update. I would like to spend most of my time, which I know is supposed to be brief, but it's, when they said brief, I don't know how brief is. So I really think the person that should be honored is Susan B. Anthony herself. And I looked up what she was doing around 150 years ago. And in 1848, she was working as a teacher in New York. She became involved with the Teachers Union when she discovered that male teachers had a monthly salary of $10, while female teachers had a monthly salary of $2.50 a month. On April 15th, in 1865, she received a telegram about President Lincoln's assassination at Ford's Theater in Washington. And in November of 1872, she was arrested for daring to vote in the national election. Now, during this period of monumental social changes, it would have been much easier for her to have just given up. Give up fighting for a living wage for women, for the abolition of slavery, and for voting rights for everyone. But thankfully, she did not give up. And even though she never lived to see the passage of the 19th Amendment, she still hoped for a brighter future for others. And here is that proof. She said, oh, if I could but live another century and see the fruition of all the work for women, there is so much yet to be done. So what would Susan B. Anthony say if she were here today? She'd probably tell me she likes my suit. Maybe she'd want to borrow it, I don't know. But I'm sure she would be extremely impressed with the many strong women role models that we have in this association and across the state and other associations. But I am sure the comments that I have heard from non-member teachers in just this year would infuriate and greatly disappoint her. And some of the comments that I have heard are, I vote for who my husband tells me to vote for. I don't vote. My husband doesn't like unions. And this one was directed as a slap at me by a teacher who dropped her membership. You can't make a difference, she told me. You are just wasting your time. Politicians will do what they want to do, regardless of how hard you fight it. And then I hear others. I don't keep up with the news, it depresses me, and I never read the paper. My job keeps me too busy to do that. And I'm sure that Susan B. Anthony would say this quote that she said 150-some years ago. There never will be complete equality until women themselves help to make laws and elect lawmakers. And even as recently as last week, on National Teacher Appreciation Day, there was a school in my district. A teacher on the staff there invited students first to bring them a free teacher appreciation breakfast. And she invited the entire faculty down to have a free biscuit or whatever it was. And thankfully, we had a strong AR at that school who notified me, and it ended up going to central office. But a long story short, the principal said she saw nothing wrong with that action. And I think that Susan B. Anthony would be just totally disgusted with that kind of cluelessness. She would probably, I would hope, what she would do is to smack them upside the head and then say what she used to say, join the union, girls, and together say equal pay for equal work. I truly believe that legislation won't kill public education. Private reform groups won't kill public education, and union haters won't kill public education. The only thing that could kill public education is the apathy and the unawareness of educational professionals. Organize, agitate, educate must be our war cry, and that is a Susan B. Anthony quote. For this reason, I will proudly stand with REA, TEA, and NEA and continue to advocate for the free and equal public education for all students. Ms. Anthony would convince us to stand strong, stand united, and never give up. Because as she once declared, failure is impossible. I accept this Susan B. Anthony Award on behalf of my friends, colleagues, and mentors from REA, TEA, and the NEA. I have done absolutely nothing without the constant guidance, reassurance, and motivation from both my state and local teams. As I have said somewhere before, TEA always has my back, right, Jim? And I will be forever grateful. And for my heroes, Susan B. Anthony, Rosa Parks, and my favorite, Mother Jones, thank you for paving the way. Thank you all.
I would like to thank, first of all, my God, your God, for being here. I also would like to thank the Hamilton County Education Association for submitting my name for nomination. But I'm a person that I always, when I was in the classroom, I always used to tell my students, in order to be successful, or in order to do anything, you must have respect. And I always say that to anybody. Respect is so important. And as a part of the actions that I've done, the activities I've done, I've dealt with respect with anybody, any group, no matter who you are. You build those relationships based on respect. And when you build relationships on respect, then people are successful and groups are successful. And I think this world would be a better place also when we understand each other by respecting each other. And also taking those individual things and sharing it with others so that they can be respectful of themselves. Because we're finding out today, a lot of individuals are not even respectful of themselves. And we, as educators, have to also educate those individuals on how to go about doing that. I didn't have a speech, as you can see. And I'm a very sensitive person. I care about people, and that's why I'm in public education. And I thought about E. Harper, and I looked at some of the characteristics, and I said, you know, I've done some of the same things he's done. And I can go back to an individual who was a retired teacher in my association who passed away this year. Some of you may know him and some of you may not, but William Jack Benson. William Jack Benson received the E. Harper Award. And I went back and I thought about Jack Benson, and I think it was like 1978 when I was a classroom teacher. There was an incident that happened to me in my classroom, and it was dealing with a parent situation. I had put a student in the back of the line during the cafeteria, and she went home the next day, and she told her mother. Her mother came back to my classroom the next morning, and I was in the classroom all by myself. The students were in the library, so I was doing my planning. And she came into the room, and she approached me, and she just simply smacked me across my face, and it just shocked me like this. And so I just told her she needed to leave, and she left, and she went outside the door. So as I looked out the window of the door, I noticed she had a gun. And I had the door locked, just like that door locked, in a locked position, so she couldn't get in, and I called over the intercom. After that, Jack Benson, who worked in the central office at that time, he was, like I say, he was a member of TEA. He was the person that would have my back. And I can always remember Jack having a relationship with the union, which was Chattanooga Education Association at the time, because his wife was our administrative assistant. And Jack told me, he says, "Ron, don't worry." He says, "I got it. Because I have a relationship not only with the union, I also have a relationship with the judge that's going to bring this case before him." And so from then on, I got very involved in the association from that very moment. And I have a lot of respect for Jack. So, and just in those things, like I said, you build relationships, and you can always be successful. But at the same time, like I say, make sure that you're respectful of each other. I want to thank the Tennessee Education Association. I will continue to advocate for public education because I'm a strong advocate for public education. And I also am very proud of my profession. And as everyone has come up here before, it's a worthy profession. It's a God-given profession. And it's the only profession that can make a real big difference in the lives of people here on earth. Thank you so much.
As I was sitting here, I was listening to all the stories, and one of the things that she didn't say is that I got my start as a teacher.
All right.
I taught in special education in the Memphis City school system. So look, I have great appreciation for educators. And as I think about educators, I also think of a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who once said, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are small matters when compared to what lies within us." What lies behind us and what lies before us are small matters when compared to what lies within us. And let me tell you, teachers have something special within.
All right.
And as I look at the landscape of what is going on in education, because education continues to be very near and dear to my heart, I realize that teachers and education, public education, is under attack.
That's right.
And what I would do is challenge each of you to be steadfast and immovable, because the children of today are counting on you.
That's right.
On each one of you. Now, at the National Civil Rights Museum for the past 17 years, for many of you who may not know where that is and what it is
Right.
located at the site of the Lorraine Motel where Dr. King was killed on April 4th, 1968. And its mission is to chronicle key episodes of America's civil rights story, to inspire participation in civil and human rights through our educational programs, our exhibitions, and our collections. And don't we need to view education as an important civil right?
Yes.
Everybody in America is entitled to a quality I owe a deep debt of gratitude to my colleagues from Memphis who are here today. And to each of you honorees, because you all have done some phenomenal work. And I just pray for your strength, that you will continue to deliver at the levels that I know you always have and always will. as I was thinking about something important that was said in that great movie, The Help. And many of you may not have seen it, but Abilene told the young lady in The Help, she said, you is smart, you is kind, and you is important. That's right. And I want you all to know that you are important contributors, not just to the future of the children that you teach every day, but important to the health of this nation. Your work is more valuable than any other work out there. You need to be making more than the NBA players. Somehow we got it twisted, but we can write it now. We need to write it. But I just want you to understand that I am so impressed and will always be an advocate for public education and will always be an advocate for great teachers. So thank you for the work that you do every day, and God bless you as you continue on this difficult but so rewarding journey. Thank you very much.
Teachers are the hardest working folks in Tennessee, I think, and I tell people that all the time. I don't, I'm walking around for a couple of years with legislators thinking they're so busy, and I'm just going, if you guys think that this is work, then come follow a teacher around for a while, because I think some of them forget that, but we have a fight, and we have got to stand up. Like Emily said, it's just so important. I don't know what I would do if I heard some of the comments that you heard. I would lose it completely, I think. No one said that to me. I'm not sure what would happen, but the whole fact of the matter is if we don't stand up, we're not going to have anything to stand up for. We are under attack. These privatizers are ready to take it all away and see how they can make money off of our kids.
That's right.
And that's what we have to do. We've got to stand up and we've got to fight it. I'm so tired of testing sixth graders who test the special ed. I have to teach special ed students, so most of the sixth graders I had this year were on a first or second grade level, but I'm still required to teach them sixth grade standards and to test them on a sixth grade TCAP, and it's just absolutely wrong. We have got to make sure we stop doing this to our children and start teaching them where they are and bringing them along. Before all of this started, I taught mainly high school emotionally disturbed kids, and I can say that with those special ed high school students, in all of my time teaching satellite intervention classes, that I probably had a 90 to 95% regular ed graduation rate with those kids because I was able to address mental health issues. And we had support in the classroom to address those mental health issues. I can't do that. If somebody walks in and we're having group, I'm done. And so they're not allowing us to do the things as teachers we know our students need. That's right. And it's just, we've got to fight against it because it's really going to be detrimental to our kids, I think. So I just appreciate everything you all do. I'm going to keep fighting pretty loudly, actually. So, and you'll probably see me around in 16, hopefully. So. I'm probably going to come talk to a few of you about 2016. So, thanks so much.
I'm the only non-teacher in the room. You are apparently all used to standing in front of people and being charming and smart and quoting famous people. And I'm not used to talking to anybody in human person because we work on the phone. So if you'd all get your phones out it would make me a lot more comfortable. And I'd be happy to help you with your homework. Although I have this really big worry that you probably all know how to do equivalent fractions and solve for x and make your verbs match your subjects better than the people I normally talk to. So, okay, is everybody pretending they're on their phone? Yes. 25 years ago, I was with the group where the MNEA helped form Homework Hotline. And I thought it was a great idea because public education was beginning to be under attack even then. And all of those after-school programs where kids could get tutoring from their teacher where they should get it, right where they need it, those were all being defunded. And the idea was Homework Hotline would be a sort of a temporary stopgap where we could give some after-school tutoring until our state legislature thought again. Okay. That year we had 4 teachers a night, and they provided that first year 5,583 sessions of tutoring, averaging 8 minutes. And then the legislature didn't change their mind, and more after-school programs disappeared, and we have gotten bigger and bigger. Now we have 32 teachers a night. And the average call length for elementary school is about 16 minutes. For high school, it's more like 30 to 60 minutes. We do physics and chemistry. We teach reading to 3rd graders who can't read, all by phone. We just added a new math program. This year alone, we provided 5,000 hours of tutoring on the telephone. That's a record, and it's not a record that I'm particularly proud of, because really the greatest thing that could happen in education is if programs like ours were put out of business because they weren't needed. So when we sent in that form, we were at 480,000 sessions of tutoring. Now we are almost to 500,000 sessions of tutoring in 25 years. And the reason that we work well and that we're a success is because the people who answer the phone at Homework Hotline are current certified professional school teachers. All right. Children deserve actual professional school teachers with experience and training. That's right. Yeah. Not people who do it for 5 minutes. Not people who think they can do it because they have a degree in something else, but people who know what they're doing and have a commitment to children and are staying with that commitment. Homework Hotline loves teachers. We thank you so much for this wonderful award. I'm so grateful that you've named Homework Hotline as your friend of publication. But really, we at Homework Hotline believe it's the Tennessee teachers who are the heroes for our children. Tennessee teachers are serving our children despite everything we throw in their way every day. And I thank you very, very much.